All right, so we're diving into miniature set design today,
A world where creativity and craftsmanship collide.
bringing those incredible miniature props and sets you see in movies like to life.
Yeah, they're not just tiny, they're crucial for creating realistic environments and special effects.
Exactly, transporting viewers to different worlds. And we've got RoleCatcher resources here to help you nail that interview.
We'll be focusing especially on interview questions today,
Unpacking those tricky questions and giving you the inside scoop to really stand out.
giving you strategies so you can craft some really compelling answers.
Sounds good. So first things first, what does a miniature set designer actually do?
It's way more than just playing with tiny buildings.
RoleCatcher's career guide says that.
Right, it's about designing and building these miniature props and sets for motion pictures.
Working closely with directors, production designers.
Oh yeah, and those visual effects wizards.
Creating like miniature cityscapes for disaster scenes.
Or detailed spaceship models for sci-fi epics, you know?
Even historical buildings for period pieces.
That's right.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It is a really cool job.
But the guide also mentions that reading comprehension is surprisingly crucial.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
Why is that?
Because miniature set designers, they really need to analyze those scripts and design documents carefully.
Not just understanding the words, but the director's vision, the mood.
All those subtle details that contribute to the story.
So it's about translating those written words into 3D reality.
Exactly, bringing that story to life in miniature.
And that brings us to the heart of our deep dive today.
Those all-important interview questions.
Are you ready to put on your interview hat
Let's do it.
and tackle some of those most common ones?
Let's go.
RoleCatcher's sample questions include a classic. Can you walk us through your design process?
It seems pretty straightforward.
When creating a miniature set, but what are they really looking for here?
They want to understand your approach, how you tackle a project.
Can you break down that process into clear steps?
Do you have a systematic way of working?
Are you organized?
They're looking for that thought process.
Your ability to go from concept to execution.
That's right.
So it's not just about what you create, but how you create it.
Exactly. And a pitfall here is being too vague.
Yeah, don't just say, I brainstorm and then I build it.
Right. Give them a specific example from your portfolio. Walk them through it.
So if I were interviewing for this role, I could choose a project.
Yeah. Pick something.
Explain how I approached it,
Absolutely.
how I incorporated feedback from the director and dealt with any challenges.
Give them a clear picture of that design journey.
Highlighting my problem-solving and collaboration skills.
Precisely.
That's great advice. Now, let's say they throw a curveball
Ooh.
and ask, have you ever faced challenges in creating a miniature set? If so, how did you overcome them?
This is about your resilience, your problem-solving skills.
So how should we approach this one?
Choose a specific challenge, something from your experience.
Like maybe a material didn't behave as expected?
Or you had an unexpected technical difficulty.
And honesty is key here, right?
Oh, absolutely. Be authentic. Explain the problem, the steps you took to address it.
And the outcome.
Yes, even if the solution wasn't perfect, emphasize what you learned.
Because it shows you're adaptable and resourceful, which are valuable in this field.
Absolutely, especially one as dynamic as filmmaking.
Okay, so RoleCatcher's next sample question is, can you provide examples of miniature sets you've designed in the past? This one seems like a no-brainer.
It might seem straightforward, but it's your time to shine.
To showcase your range of skills.
Your creativity, don't just list projects, pick examples that highlight different things.
Different genres, aesthetics, technical challenges.
You got it.
So if I've built a futuristic cityscape, a historical war diorama, and a whimsical fantasy landscape,
Yes.
I should mention all three
Yes, show them you can adapt.
to show my versatility.
Exactly. Use specific examples, talk about the materials, the challenges.
Bring those miniature worlds to life.
That's it.
Got it. So how about this one? How do you incorporate feedback from the director or producer into your designs?
This is all about collaboration and communication.
It seems particularly relevant for this role, given how collaborative filmmaking is.
Miniature set designers don't work alone. They're part of a team.
And the interviewer wants to know that you're open to feedback.
You can take direction, and you can integrate others' ideas.
It's about finding that balance between my own creative vision and the director's vision for the film.
Precisely, a good approach is to emphasize your communication skills.
I could explain that I actively listen to feedback.
Ask clarifying questions.
And then I translate those notes into design adjustments.
And you could even mention a specific example.
Okay, makes sense. Next up, how do you stay up to date on new materials and techniques for miniature set design? This is a field where things are constantly evolving.
You are absolutely right. This question is all about your passion.
about my commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
Lifelong learners constantly seeking out new techniques, experimenting with materials.
So how can I best demonstrate that?
Be specific, mention publications, you follow conferences, workshops, online communities.
If I've experimented with 3D printing or new sculpting techniques, I should talk about that.
Yes, show them you're seeking new knowledge.
Right. It's about showcasing my enthusiasm for the craft.
Your dedication to continuous learning.
Exactly. Now, this next question focuses on a crucial aspect of filmmaking safety.
Safety first.
RoleCatcher's Guide includes this question. How do you ensure your miniature sets are safe for actors and crew to work around?
That's a big one.
Why is this so important?
Well, safety's paramount on any set, even a miniature one.
It shows my professionalism, my attention to detail.
And that you understand those on-set safety protocols.
So in answering this question,
Yeah.
I would emphasize my use of non-toxic materials.
Especially if actors are involved or there's going to be close-ups.
Talk about how I securely fasten set pieces to prevent them from falling.
From breaking.
And what about electrical components or lighting?
Oh, right.
Should I mention my knowledge of proper wiring techniques?
Absolutely.
And making sure that the lighting is safely installed and doesn't pose a fire hazard.
It's a good one.
To demonstrate my understanding of building and construction principles.
Yeah.
Thinking about the practicalities of the set.
And how it'll function.
Right. So this question allows me to showcase not only my artistic skills, but also my commitment to creating a safe working environment for everyone on set.
Exactly.
Now, before we move on to more questions, let's touch on how RoleCatcher's AI tools can give you an extra edge.
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher has some great AI features.
Absolutely. There's CV Resume Builder,
For example,
analyzes job descriptions, and helps tailor your application.
it helps highlight the most relevant skills and experience.
It's like having a personal career coach.
That's a great way to put it.
And they also have that interview practice feature.
Yes.
You can rehearse your answers to a range of questions
Including ones specifically for miniature set designers?
and get AI-powered feedback
On your delivery?
on the content, even on my body language.
It's like having a virtual mock interview.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like RoleCatcher's really thought of everything.
They really have.
Okay, let's take a quick pause here before we dive back into those interview questions.
Sounds good.
There's still a few more we want to cover.
All right, let's take a break. All right, so let's jump back into those insightful interview questions from RoleCatcher's resources. This next one is particularly interesting. What are some of the biggest challenges facing the field of miniature set design today?
Ooh, this question goes beyond individual skills and experience.
Yeah.
It does. It's about demonstrating my awareness of the bigger picture
Of those industry trends.
and challenges.
The interviewer wants to know that you're engaged with the field, thinking critically about its future, and that you're ready to adapt.
To new developments and potential obstacles.
That's right.
So what are some of those key challenges facing miniature set design?
One that immediately comes to mind is the increasing use of CGI and visual effects in filmmaking.
While miniature sets still play a vital role,
Absolutely.
some productions are opting for fully digital environments.
That's true.
Yeah.
How would you address that challenge in an interview?
Well, I could emphasize the unique advantages that miniatures continue to offer,
Like what?
like the tangible realism of miniature sets, the way they interact with light and shadow,
Good.
and even the practical limitations that can sometimes foster creative problem solving.
That's a great point.
It's like comparing a painting to a photograph. Each has its own strengths
I like that analogy.
and artistic merit.
You could also highlight how you're embracing new technologies like 3D printing
to enhance my work or even create hybrid sets,
that blend miniature elements with digital effects.
demonstrating my adaptability and willingness to evolve with the industry.
Exactly, showing that you're forward-thinking.
Well, are there any other challenges I could discuss?
Another significant challenge is the increasing pressure on budgets and schedules in filmmaking.
This can sometimes lead to compromises on quality
Yeah.
or time constraints that impact the creative process.
That's true, but how would you address this without sounding like you're complaining about the industry?
I would frame it as an opportunity to showcase my problem-solving skills
Good.
and my ability to work efficiently under pressure.
I like it.
I could mention techniques I use to streamline my workflow,
Like what?
optimize material usage,
Uh-huh.
or even collaborate effectively with other departments to ensure everyone's on the same page.
And that deadlines are met?
That's a great way to spin it into a positive.
I think so too.
Okay, let's move on to a more craft-specific question. What are some of your favorite materials to work with and why?
Ah, this is a fun one.
It lets you geek out a bit about your craft.
Show off your knowledge.
Showcase my knowledge of different materials and their properties.
Don't just rattle off a list, though. Explain why you enjoy working with them, what unique properties they offer.
For example, I could talk about how much I love using foam for its versatility in creating intricate details.
Oh yeah, foam is great for that.
Or how wood provides a sturdy foundation for structural elements.
Good. Or you could talk about the translucent qualities of certain plastics for creating lighting effects.
Oh yeah, or the unique textures you can achieve with different types of clay. Now let's address the question that often makes candidates nervous.
Oh, the salary one.
What are your salary expectations for this role? Any advice on how to handle this?
The salary question can be tricky, but approach it with confidence and preparation. First, do your research
Use resources like RoleCatcher or industry salary surveys.
to understand that typical salary range.
That gives me a realistic benchmark to work with.
Exactly, and then consider your own skills, experience the specific requirements of the role.
So if I have specialized skills or a strong portfolio, I might be able to justify a higher salary
That's right, but it's important to be realistic.
and not price myself out of contention.
Right, it's all about finding that balance. A good approach is to provide a salary range.
Rather than a specific number,
Shows flexibility.
leaves room for negotiation.
Exactly.
That's a smart strategy.
Okay.
Here's a question that allows me to express my vision for the future. Where do you see the future of miniature set design heading?
This question allows you to showcase your forward-thinking mindset,
Understanding of industry trends.
your enthusiasm for the field.
So how can I effectively answer this question?
You could discuss emerging technologies like virtual production
Which blends real-time rendering with live-action footage.
and how miniature set designers might play a role in that.
That's an interesting concept. It seems like virtual production could offer a whole new realm of creative possibilities.
Exactly. You could also talk about the growing demand for immersive experiences,
Like themed entertainment.
and location-based VR.
It's all about adapting to new trends and seeing that bigger picture.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to share your aspirations.
What excites me about the future?
What kind of projects you want to work on, let that passion shine through.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground with these interview questions.
We have.
But before we move on to final thoughts and actionable steps,
Yes.
let's revisit RoleCatcher's AI tools and how they can help ace that interview.
Absolutely.
What are some specific ways that candidates can leverage these tools
As we mentioned earlier, the CV Resume Builder can analyze job descriptions.
and help tailor my application to include those relevant keywords and skills?
Increasing your chances of getting past those applicant tracking systems. That's so important. And landing that interview.
And once I've secured the interview, RoleCatcher's AI can help me prepare for those challenging questions.
Exactly.
Their interview practice feature is a game changer.
Well, it really is.
It simulates a real interview environment, and I can practice my answers to a vast library of questions.
Including those specific to miniature set design.
And the best part is I receive AI-powered feedback.
On your delivery content and even your body language.
It's like having a personal interview coach at my fingertips.
It really is amazing.
It sounds like RoleCatcher has really harnessed the power of AI
To empower candidates.
and help them succeed.
That's right.
Okay, before we wrap up with some final tips and insights, let's take a short pause.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've explored the world of miniature set design,
We really have.
delved into those tricky interview questions,
Yeah.
and even tapped into the power of RoleCatcher's AI tools.
It's a lot to cover.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with some actionable steps
Okay.
you can take right now to boost your chances of landing that dream job.
Love it.
So where should we start?
First and foremost, revisit your portfolio. Make sure it's up to date.
Showcasing my best work.
Highlighting those skills and experiences that align with the roles you're targeting.
So tailor my portfolio to each job I apply for.
That's right. And don't just include photos, add descriptions.
Outlining the challenges.
The creative choices you made, the techniques you employed.
It's a chance to tell the story behind my work.
Demonstrate your thought process.
A great point. So it's not just about showing what I created, but explaining how I created it.
Exactly. And while you're at it, take a look at your online presence.
Make sure my LinkedIn profile is polished and professional.
Highlighting your skills and experience in a way that connects with those potential employers.
Right. I want to make sure it reflects my passion for miniature set design.
Absolutely. And if you have a personal website or online portfolio, make sure those links are in your applications.
It's a great way to showcase my work in a more comprehensive way.
More visually engaging, too.
Now let's talk about networking. I know it can be intimidating,
It can be.
but I've heard it's really important in the film industry.
You've heard right. It's all about connections.
So what should I be doing?
Attend industry events.
Okay.
Join online forums, reach out to professionals you admire for informational interviews.
So networking is about building relationships and learning from others.
Precisely, building those relationships can open doors.
To unexpected opportunities.
You never know who might have a lead on a job.
Or be able to offer some insights into the industry.
Exactly. And remember, networking isn't about asking for favors.
It's about sharing my passion for the craft.
And making genuine connections.
Be authentic, be curious, be helpful.
I like that.
Offer to assist on projects, volunteer my skills.
Or just share your knowledge.
The more you give, the more you'll receive in return.
That's the truth.
Now let's touch on something that's essential in any creative field. Continuous learning. How can I stay ahead of the curve?
That's a great question. The field's constantly evolving.
So I need to dedicate time each week to exploring new techniques, experimenting with new materials, and staying up to date.
Take some online courses, attend workshops, immerse yourself in those online tutorials and articles.
So I should be actively seeking out new knowledge and skills even after I land a job.
Absolutely. The more you invest in your skills and knowledge, the more valuable you'll be.
That makes sense. So I should never stop learning.
And exploring new possibilities.
And speaking of exploring possibilities, remember the power of confidence and enthusiasm?
Oh, yeah.
When you step into that interview room,
Good time.
I want to project confidence and show the interviewer how passionate I am about miniature set design.
That's the spirit. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI tools can really help you.
The interview practice feature.
Yeah.
Rehearse my answers, refine my delivery, build my confidence.
The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel.
So I can use RoleCatcher's AI to prepare my resume and cover letter, and also to practice my interview skills.
Exactly. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
That's amazing. Technology can really be a powerful tool.
It really can.
Now, as you head into those interviews, remember to let your passion shine through.
Yeah.
Talk about those projects that excite you.
The challenges you enjoy tackling.
Show the interviewer you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for an opportunity to contribute.
To a field you love.
That's great advice. So to wrap things up, I want to say thank you for sharing your insights and expertise today. I feel much more prepared
You're welcome.
to tackle those miniature set design interviews.
Glad to hear it.
To all of you listening out there,
Yeah.
we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
The world of miniature set design awaits.
It really does. Keep learning, keep experimenting, keep pushing those boundaries.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into miniature set design. Thanks for joining us.